Hello, this is David with Hydration TV. I've traveled across the country today to beautiful Virginia, and
Yes.
thank you, Dr. Chambray, for having us come to your practice here today. For our audiences, please share with us kind of your medical background. Is that okay?
Sure. My medical background is I'm a general practitioner, and I went to medical school at George Washington University here in Washington, D.C., and I did some family practice training, and I am a general practitioner. So I take care of all ages, and I deal with whatever comes through the door. And hopefully I can fix things with food first. If I can fix it with food, then people don't need supplements, and if I can fix it with supplements, they don't need prescriptions. There are excellent doctors around that I forward my patients to if it's necessary, but if I can teach my patients how to take care of themselves, then they don't need me as much, and they don't need to enter the medical system.
Gotcha. Now, Dr. Chambray, you've had a TV show.
I have.
You've been a big proponent for getting healthy information out there. Mm-hmm. And share with our audiences what you'd recommend in today's environment, or what are you telling your patients to be healthy?
Well, what I'm telling my patients, first of all, is I need them to drink water. And the reason I need them to drink water is we need enough water in our blood so that our blood is the transportation system to take the nutrients into the body, to all parts of the body, and to get our waste out. Very important to get rid of the waste in our body so we're not carrying around a lot of sludge. And I tell them that they need to eat a good basic diet, that good food doesn't come in boxes or bags, it comes from fresh food. And I tell them that exercise is good, a good night's sleep is very important. But basically, if they do those basic things, they don't need me. They can evaluate their bodies and their health status by, first of all, how do they feel? Second of all, what color is their urine? Their morning urine should be yellow because it's concentrated, but the rest of the day it should be almost clear. Hard to look at the urine to see the straw color. The third thing they can evaluate their health about is how are their stools. People should have 1 bowel movement, 2 bowel movements a day. It should be soft and formed. There shouldn't be a fight about having a bowel movement. And the fourth thing is to look at your skin. And so you can do all of those things without me. And that's a good way to evaluate your health.
Fantastic. You must have, in the course of your practice, had a awakening about water, because most doctors you talk to, it doesn't really come up, or they say in medical school you go to 1 hour of nutrition, and all the years you study. But tell us, how did this water message become so important to you?
Well, first of all, I didn't go to medical school until I was 38. So I had a little bit of knowledge before then. I was already a mother. I was already becoming more knowledgeable about nutrition. And I had always been a water drinker. It never occurred to me that people weren't. But as I was practicing medicine, I was see in this office that the little urine cups that people give their urine samples in, there were just a little bit in, and it was very, very dark. And I was surprised by that, and then I realized that some of the patients that I was seeing must belong to some of that urine. So I started to ask people how much water did they drink, and a lot of people just said, they literally put up their hands and said, I don't do water. I mean, the commercial entities have done so much to undermine our faith in our basic public water system that people are afraid to drink it. And that's a sad, sad thing. But then I'd ask them what they drank, and they drank 6 or 8 sodas of this kind or that kind. And so I started to talk to them about water. And then I started to look at how much water they drank and how serious their diseases were. So the next step was, well, what happens if we add water? What happens to their diseases? So I was into about 4 months of researching this with my patients, and a patient of mine walked in with Dr. Batman-Gelich's book and said, you need to read it. Well, she was right. I had been looking all over the internet, and I couldn't find anything on hydration and health. I could find things on nursing home studies on what the detrimental effects were of dehydration, but nobody was promoting health with water. And so this book was very important to me because he had written about what I was looking for. And so, I mean, I have amazing stories on telling you just what water will do. Just amazing.
Well, you look very healthy and vibrant yourself. I mean,
I drink water.
It's a nice recipe, and we've had two of your patients here today share their story. And in the course of our discussions today, she talked about even a 5-year-old. We're not talking just seniors. No matter your age, water's had an impact. Tell us about the 5-year-old. You told us that neat story.
The 5-year-old is a little boy who had a problem with constipation, and it was painful, and he would cry to go to the bathroom. And so his mother and he came in. I talked to them about how important it was, and he was going into kindergarten. This is an important time, and I said how lucky he would be if he could learn how to handle this. So I told him how much water to eat, to drink, and how to eat the vegetables. If we could each have a salad a day, it would be an amazing thing. Anyway, he came in so proud of himself. And because it's not something I did, I talked to him about it. It's something he did. And so if he can learn that at 5 years old, by the time he gets to 90, it'll be amazing how many diseases and discomforts he will have avoided.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what he did was he drank...
He drank more water, and he added more vegetables.
Wow.
And that will solve a lot of constipation problems.
And then you were telling me in your own family, your siblings, your parents, relatives, tell us how vibrant they were through drinking water their whole life.
Well, my dad always drank water, and he lived till 95, and he didn't take any medicines until he was about 92.
Wow.
And so he did very well. My aunt was 95 when she died, and she only took one eye drop for one eye. And so as you get older, it doesn't mean you have to become part of the medical system where you're taking a lot of prescriptions. If you follow the basic recipe for staying healthy, which is good water, good food, good sleep, good exercise, and good air, you can stay out of the medical system. You can stay healthy, and you can live a vibrant life. My aunt was walking to the grocery store until she was 88 or 89, and I'd stop and say, "Do you want to ride, Aunt Alice?" And she'd say, "Oh, no, I'll walk." And so it's possible to live a nice long life doing the basics, but you can't live a nice long life if you don't follow the recipe for good health.
And then tell us what's next for you. You've had a TV show where you've
Yes.
talked about health topics, and you're talking about having that come back. And we'd like to come back and interview you in the future, your patients, just to see how these stories continue to evolve. But tell us what's up next for you.
Well, I'm going to help my son graduate from high school and get into college. That's my first. And then after that, I'll go back. I've been talking to a fellow who's very interested in healthy aging. And he gives lectures here in the area on healthy aging. And so we were talking about resurrecting my TV show that was on local access television. And bringing that back. Now, he would have an interest from a healthy aging perspective, and I have more of a general medicine perspective on how to stay healthy, because then you don't need a doctor. Well, I don't tell people not to do things. I don't tell them not to drink the coffee, and I don't tell them not to drink the sodas. I tell them that what my opinion is of them, which is that I don't think they're that great. But I do know that if you put in that amount of water, you've bumped off a lot of. So life is to be enjoyed, and if people enjoy drinking a cup of coffee, then enjoy it and do it without guilt. But understand that coffee is a diuretic, and it's not to be counted with your water intake. I'm counting only water.
Okay.
Just water.
Good thing to cover for our audience is that they get the right information.
Well, tea with caffeine in it, coffee with caffeine, even decaf has caffeine in it. Chocolate, anything with caffeine in it is going to be a diuretic. And that means, and I like to use visuals with my patients, if you drink this amount of coffee which has water in it,
Right.
you're going to lose more water from your body than is in the cup of coffee.
Wow.
Okay? It's a net loss. And so someone like my mother, who never drank water and always drank coffee and was always constipated, had a good reason on why she was the way she was.
Interesting. So thank you for your time today, letting us come to your practice and hear about your stories of water. Can we grab this book real here? It sounds like this book was one of them that started it all for you.
This is Dr. Batman Gelich's book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. It's had a number of different covers, and the one that my patient gave me so many years ago, about 12 years, 14 years ago, has really made a difference. It made a difference in my life, and it made a difference in, more importantly, in my patients.
Well, and as I'm sitting here, you audiences can't see up here, but there's a stack of many books of Dr. Batman Gelich's here, and even when we were sitting here with one of your patients, she asked to buy 2 books. So
Right.
I think
Right.
it's neat that you have these books available. They're a resource to inform your customer or your patients about the information that you're sharing. Tell us about how these books have had an impact in your practice.
I think that I tell people that the word doctor comes from the Latin word docere, and docere means to teach. So my job is to teach people how to be healthy. And if they're healthy, then I get to see them less and less often. And if I'm really successful in teaching them how to be healthy, then they don't need me anymore, and I tell them, hopefully jokingly, that they can fire me.
Yeah.
But so it's true. Like the one fellow this morning we were talking to about his leg, I had to see him once a week, and then he kept getting better. So then it was twice a week, then 3 times a week. Every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, and now it's out to a couple of months. And if we do this correctly, you need to see your doctor on a regular basis after you reach a certain age, but hopefully just for a checkup.
Yeah.
For 95 years, my aunt went for an annual checkup. She wasn't being treated for medical problems.
Wow.
She was just having an annual checkup.
Wow. Well, we'll raise our cups to that. Hope all of you out there stay healthy, learn the importance of water and hydration, and if you can help us forward this piece to people whom you know who are in pain,
Right.
who are seeking answers, we'd want you to forward this piece. Hopefully it's an information resource to give people an alternative or another way to get them the health that they need. So
One thing I emphasize to my patients is that water won't solve everything, but it's part of every solution. So it is part of every solution. You have to be properly hydrated for pain, for all kinds of situations. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything, but it's a main ingredient to the solution.
wonderful. Well, the doctor said it. And thank you very much. And until next time, this is a show for Hydration TV. Thank you.